Hello, everybody, and welcome back to what is most likely going to be the shortest episode of the Mana Cave you will ever see. My name is Ed.
My name's Travis.
Travis?
Yo.
Why am I assuming that this is going to be the shortest episode of the Mana Cave for a very, very long time at the very least?
Because I'm playing the aptly named, literally called Mono Red Aggro 2021 Challenger deck that is built for speed.
Yes, and in the previous Challenger decks that we've played, we've done the 2018-2019 decks. We have the 2020 decks. We haven't played them yet, but we will eventually. We're doing everything out of order because we missed a year. So there we go. The Red Aggro deck has reigned supreme in every single one of the previous Challenger deck showdowns, and it's also done so very quickly.
Yeah.
So I think there was one match where it went 3 games. And I was super excited, but no. It was the Golgari deck, I think, might have gone 3 games with it.
Oh, yeah, the Explorer one.
And it gave me just enough hope to think, hey, maybe I'm not going to lose this. And then I lost it. So, spoilers, but for something that was out like a million years ago. I am playing the Azorius control deck. So it's a blue-white deck, and we'll see. We'll see if it has
Control
any chance.
can be tricky, you know?
Yeah, it can be tricky. It's a tricky bird. Should we just get into it? Oh, before we begin, I almost forgot. Now, in the previous videos, some of the previous videos, I've been doing shoutouts, and I've been doing a laundry list of shoutouts at certain times. I'm going to limit those now that we've sort of back and we're settled a bit. I'm going to limit those to just 1 shoutout per video, most likely. So I wanted to kick things off with the 1 shoutout per video. And, first of all, graphic shoutouts. Boom! There we go.
Do something really special for that?
Yeah, I do. I've created, but I wanted to add like a little more grandiose one, but it's harder because there's like more audio to it. So I needed to make sure that I left, some time for the audio to go off and the graphic to go off. So there you go. The big shout out. Boom. This is going out to K-Rise, who has waited well over a week for me to answer a question, and I somehow missed it. So there are filters in the comment section which allow me to see comments which I have not answered yet.
Oh, okay.
So it's really easy. But when you add another filter, it takes off the previous filter. So you all of a sudden don't realize that, I haven't read some of these comments yet. So I do apologize. He was asking about the life counters and where we got them. And they are part of the Commander Anthology box set, which I don't own, but some of the comic stores, some of the gaming stores and comic stores.
Which are usually winning, yeah.
They would open those up and pillage them for singles a lot of the time, and then would leave them with a bunch of these counters. So sometimes they would sell them off. I think these I got from either a local gaming store called Fusion Gaming or Face to Face, which
Toronto.
is in, I believe, Montreal. I believe it's Montreal. So yeah, a mixture of places where I bought them for various prices and stuff.
Only once I think they made them. Just that one anthology, I think.
The other anthology they looked slightly different. And then I don't think they've done them since then.
They got the wheels now, those cardboard wheels that are wheelie awesome.
Absolute garbage. So these are great, though. These are really, really nice. So if you can find some, and some of them sell them for quite cheap, relatively cheap. So definitely pick them up. Some of them are a little, if you can, try them out first before you buy one, because
you got a selection.
Some of them are a little
try
bit
before
stiff.
you buy it.
Some of them are a little bit stiff to turn. And I learned that out the hard way. But for the most part, they're great. They look great, and they work well, and they can go up to 99. So, or 100 technically if you want to do 0-0. But so that's the shout outs. That's the end of the shout outs in this video. So now at this point, let's just kick things off. Our hands are probably being shown as I'm talking right now and vamping for time, and we are going to roll to see who goes first.
Usually we got these all set up.
Oh, there's one right there. Right, so you can't see it.
Could be mono red.
There we go, yeah. So,
where's your production
beat a 6 with an 11. This is just a sign of things to come, really. It's getting absolutely destroyed in the roll-off. And we'll see how this goes. So neither of us mulliganed, correct?
Correct.
So we'll see if that works out too. I'm actually going to move just before we start. I'm just going to turn off my phone and move it over here just so it doesn't mess up with the audio. There we go. All the behind-scenes shenanigans. Travis,
yo,
kick us off.
Well, I will kick it off with a mountain in a mono red. It's a good call. Tap mountain for the Fervent Champion.
Does it have haste?
It does. It has first strike and haste, but wait, there's more. Whenever it attacks, another target attacking knight I control gets +1/+0 to end turn. And then, but wait, there is more. It's not a big equipment sub-theme in this deck, but equipment abilities I activate the target Fervent Champion cost 3 less. There is an Embercleave. I think there's only like one copy. I think that's how they had to balance the price of this deck, because Embercleave at the time was big bucks.
I'm not sure if it still is or not. Maybe because it's rotating. I'm not sure if it's... I don't even know what the rotations are at this point, but...
but he has haste. So I'm going to swing in my Fervent Champion riding his horse with his...
Wow, taking a point of
sword.
Damage in the first round of a mono red game is crazy. So
I'm going to pass to you while I think of the name.
has to be
Beric Dondarrion from Game of Thrones. He would have his sword on fire. My boy.
On fire. I'm going to have a slightly slower start to this game. I'm going to play Temple of Enlightenment. When it enters the battlefield, it enters tapped, and when it enters the battlefield, I can scry 1. I can also tap it when it's untapped for white or blue. So I'm going to scry 1. You know what? Let's just put that on the bottom. Let's put that on the bottom. Travis.
Yo.
Go at her.
All right. Untap. Draw that top card. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to combat.
You're not playing a land. Okay.
I'm going to swing.
Swing for 1.
Fervent Champion.
Take any shenanigans while prior to combat damage?
No, not prior to combat damage. No.
So down to 18.
I will play another mountain.
Okay, I was wondering.
You got it.
Because I mean that deck could probably go off with just one land.
So I don't know your deck at all, but I'm going to assume that there's not many creatures in it. So I'm going to tap 2.
To be fair, neither do I. So
to cast Royal Eruption. It's a sorcery. I would have saved the mana and saved some options, but I'm not going to take a turn off and hope to do something with some instants. Royal Eruption deals 3 damage to any target. If the spell is kicked, it deals 5 damage. The kick was 5. I hope I don't have a chance to do that. I'm just going to take the chance to hit you for 3, because it does say any target.
For 3?
Royal Eruption deals 3 damage to any target. Yeah. It's a sorcery. It's 2 mana.
This is a bad start. It's a bad start.
Now, obviously, usually you want to clear blockers out of the way.
For some reason, I thought you only tap 1 mana to cast it. So I was like, why is it a lightning bolt? But it's not. So that makes sense. 2 mana, you're right. That's just a lightning strike or whatever it is. Yeah. Sorcery and sorcery speed, yes, as well too.
So that hurt my options. And again, normally you want to say that for critters, but I don't know that he will play a lot. So anyhow, I do pass you after all that.
Okay. I'm going to untap, draw, play a plains. Options. I do have options, which is nice. I'm going to tap for 2, and I'm going to play Skyclave Cleric. It's a 1/3 core cleric, and when it enters the battlefield, I gain 2 life. And it does pretty good toe-to-toe against the 1/1.
Yeah,
In the time being, it does, but we'll see, because that's got first strike, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that could go wrong for me.
And I just wasted that spell.
No, I mean, you still did damage. The whole thing is about, like, pounding face. Which sounds... Let's move on from that turn of phrase. Travis, it's your turn.
Untapping. Drawn. All right. Playing yet another mountain.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's all the mana you're ever going to need, I think.
Go to combat.
Go to combat. Sure.
Okay.
Block it.
We're going to tap 2. For Boulder Rush. Boulder Rush. It is the adventure side of Rimrock Knight. Target creature gets +2/+0 until the end of turn, which will make him a 3 power first strike.
First strike, which means this dies. Your guy does not die. I've got the little
Go
on an adventure token there for you.
Actually, pardon me, that was just 1 red for that. It's 1 red for that, and then 2 more for his other part.
Yes.
So I got a funny feeling someone's going to be on a pretty short adventure. Yeah, they're probably on a pretty short adventure. So that was combat. He did, however, not do any actual damage to you, which hurts my soul.
Yeah, well, I feel bad for you, I do.
Which is one, right? I'll tap 2 then to cast the Rimrock Knight side, take him off his adventure. He's a 3/1 Dwarf Knight. So now when this guy attacks, he can give his +1 to him.
Yeah.
But he can't give it to himself.
No, he can't give it. It has to be another creature, yeah. So that was a very short adventure he went on.
It was short. It had fun, though.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
Okay.
I forgot how cool that adventure kind of thing was.
Let's see. I'm going to play an island. Let's do this. I'm going to tap for 1 white and 1 of whatever, and I'm going to cast an artifact, Glass Casket. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls with a converted mana cost 3 or less until Glass Casket leaves the battlefield. So I'm actually going to take out the
Rimrock.
Yeah, so it's just going to get tucked into the Glass Casket here until that leaves, and then it comes back to you.
So the dwarfs and Sleeping Beauties thing. Someone's got their lore wrong.
I'm gonna pass the turn to you while I quickly look at some of the cards in my hand that I don't know.
Tap, draw, play. Fourth land, yeah. I'm at there. That's where I'm at.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of land for a mono red aggro deck.
Pre-combat, I'm going to tap 3 for Annex, the Hardened in the Forge. That's who he is. Is there a response? You do have 1 blue mana up.
No, there's no response.
Annex's power is equal to my devotion to red, so he's a 3/3 at this point. Whenever another non-token creature I control dies, create a 1/1 red Satyr creature. A token that has this creature can't block. If that creature has power 4 or greater, I create 2 of those tokens.
Okay, now it does not have haste.
It does not have haste.
Whew.
The reason I did it pre-combat is just in case you find some way blue-white to kill my
No, I got
champ.
you.
I'll get a Satyr.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
100%. No one would judge you for that, Travis. No one. No one would judge you.
Go to combat. Just 1.
Just 1. Okay, so I'm down to 16.
And then I pass to you.
Okay. Death of 1,000 cuts, it feels like right now. Yeah, let's go ahead and play another Temple of Enlightenment so that I can go ahead and scry again. No, I do not want that. I want that on the bottom of my deck. That's where I want that. And okay, I'm going to tap for 3. And I'm going to cast Banishing Light. When Banishing Light enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. So I'm going to banish him for the time being. So there we go. And control at work. I'm going to pass the turn now to you, sir.
My poor little knight. Nobody to buff. Come on, get some good here. It's decent. It's decent.
I hope it's not. I really hope it's not.
Okay, I'm going to go to combat.
Let's do this. Okay. Damage?
No. I'm going to Boulder Rush again. So he becomes a 3/1.
3/1, okay.
Put him on his adventure.
Is that it?
That is that for that, yeah.
Okay, so now I'm taking 4. So I'm down to 12.
Pardon me. He becomes a 3/1. So just 2 from that. So,
oh, just 2 from that?
Yeah.
So I'm down to 13.
Yes, because 3 damage total. Because you were at 17.
I was at 16.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm down to 13.
Cool.
3 damage total. So not 3 damage on top of that. So 3 damage. Okay.
All right.
And there will be something appearing on screen if I did screw that up. So
paying 2 mana to take him off his adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Put him back to work.
Yeah, here we go.
Pass turn to you.
Pass the turn to me. Untap. Draw.
You draw another removal?
No! Another Temple of Enlightenment. Enlightenment. I'm going to scry.
Seems like it's a tough call.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on the bottom. Okay, so now I'm going to do something other than cast a temple. I'm going to pay 2, and including 1 white, and cast The Birth of Meletis. So this is a saga. Enters as this saga enters, and after your draw step, add a lore counter. Sacrifice after 3. So I'm going to first start off by searching my library for a basic Plains card, reveal it, put it into my hand, and then shuffle my library. The second part of the saga is create a 0/4 colorless wall artifact token with Defender. And 3 is gain 2 life. So it's not exactly a barn burner.
There's a lot over 3 turns, though.
I will be searching my deck for a basic land.
And the 0-4 is going to really help you out, actually.
I'm going to show you an island, and that's going to go into my hand, correct? Search your library for a basic plains card.
Yeah.
So I can't... Travis, can you imagine if that actually went without being caught? Plains, and put it into my hand, and then shuffle my library.
You're still capable of generating 4 blue mana, so like, I don't think you'd be too concerned about that.
Shuffling now, because that's all part of the process. We're not touching each other's cards when we can help it, so I'm going to cut myself, just so you know. So that has now entered the battlefield. This goes to my hand. I've already played a land, though, so I can't do that. I'm going to then get 2 mana up. I'm going to pass the turn to you and take my lumps.
Untapping.
Oh, I should put, just to show that it is currently at 1.
Draw for the turn. Play another mountain. Okay. We're going to go to combat.
Going to go to combat.
Swinging both. He's going to trigger, making him a total of 4-1 and a 1-1.
Yep. So 5 in total.
5 in total.
I am down to 8.
And I'll pass 2.
On your end step, I'm going to tap 2, including 1 blue, to cast... Oh, don't worry, it's not scary. Omen of the Seas, flash, enchantment, and when Omen of the Seas enters the battlefield, I scry 2, and then I draw a card. So I'm going to scry 2. And I'm going to put them both back on top in this order. I'm just going to quickly make sure that I did do that in the right order. I did do that right in the right order, thank goodness. So that's going back on top, and then I'm going to draw a card. As well, too, I can pay 2 and 1 blue and sacrifice this to scry 2 again at a later date. So it's my turn?
Your turn.
Okay. Untap. Draw. This goes up to 2, which means if I can find the 2, I'm going to create a 0-4 colorless wall artifact creature with Defender, which I'm assuming, because they do give you tokens with this.
It's in there.
Here it is. Glorious wall. So it's a 0-4, which is great. I'm then going to play a Plains. I'm going to tap these 2 white, and I'm going to cast Glass Casket again.
No.
I'm just going to move these prisons over here, and I'm going to grab the 3-1 because it's currently causing me a lot of extra damage.
Yeah.
And it's not. It would be able to go toe to toe with my wall. Right up on my wall, right there. So I have all these little prisons here. I'm just going to move them back because they're not able to fight or anything like that. All this enchantment stuff.
Wow. Do you have that enchantment in your deck? All the glitters, I think it is. The target creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control.
No.
I guess some of those are
not that. I mean, it might be in this deck. Again, I've looked over this deck before, but I do not know it overly well. And I'm going to pass the turn now to you, sir.
Oh, okay. I believe it or not, I have a bunch of weird options here. What is the better way to do it?
If you have 7 that can destroy all enchantments and artifacts, I am royally...
there might be artifact stuff, but I don't think there's anything mainboardy artifacty. See, well, obviously I'm not winning the game this turn, but I still could be looking at taking basically a turn off to do set up for a next turn kind of thing. Doesn't sound like I want to do.
I just say, just take a turn off. Better you concede. That's always an option.
I will tap 1 for the Akum Hellhound. It's
Okay.
a 0-1. No haste or nothing like that. But he has landfall. When land enters the battlefield under my control, he gets +2/+2 to end the turn.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's no second creature. He's not a knight either. No second creature to attack and get past your wall. So I gotta pass.
On your end step, I'm going to tap for 3, including 1 blue, and I'm going to cast Thirst for Meaning. It's an instant. Draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards unless I discard an enchantment. So I'm going to draw 3 cards. And I'm going to discard these 2 lands, a Plains and simply a Tranquil Cove. Now, I'm really hoping that Tranquil Cove, because it gives you 1 extra life, isn't going to be something that's going to cost me the game in the end. But
well, you're about to get 2 from your enchantment there, your Saga.
This is true, too, and then that's going to hit the graveyard. So, my turn now?
Yep.
Okay, so untap. Draw, which then triggers this. I'm going to gain 2 life, because it's going to reach the end of this Saga, which puts me up to 10 again. Goes to the graveyard. Move this over here. Thirst for Meaning should have been gone a million years ago.
Just an instant.
Yeah. So that's currently a 0/1, and it gets +2/+2 with landfall.
With landfall, yeah.
Alrighty. I'm going to play an island.
Glass Casket. Hashtag Glass Casket.
I'm going to tap for 2, like a blue and whatever, and then an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to cycle this card. It's called Shark Typhoon.
Oof.
It's an enchantment. Normally it costs 5 and a blue. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. But it also has cycling, X, 1, and a blue, which is what I'm using it for. When you cycle Shark Typhoon, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying. So it's going to be a 5/5 because I was able to tap for 5 additional mana. So there should be a shark. Here we go. And that is...
Flying Shark.
Yeah, it's a 5/5 flying shark. However, that does tap me out. So I'm now going to pass the turn to you.
5/5 Flying Shark. It's a good blocker, though. That's for sure.
I mean, that's the reason he's there, really.
We're going to do this. I'm going to tap 2 for the Kerrigan Intimidator. He's a 3/1 human warrior. Still not a knight. He says, cowards can't block warriors. I can pay 1 mana of any color. Choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Kerrigan gets +1/+1 to end a turn. Target creature becomes a coward to end a turn. Target warrior gains trample. So I can only basically make someone unblockable to him or another warrior, which I don't control. I believe that's it. And
Is that what a coward does?
Cowards can't block warriors.
Okay.
So far, he's the only warrior I control, so that doesn't do anything. There were no landfalls. Man, I am petering out here. Cowards can't block warriors. Choose one has been chosen. Yeah, I think that's all I can really do. Because I can't pump something else up a lot. That doesn't happen. I'm sure he has his uses. I guess later you can pump him up a little bit, make something a coward, and then... Or give him trample, which would matter if you made something a coward.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused. That's my turn, because...
It's your turn?
Yeah, well, there's no point in attacking my 0/1, my 1/1.
So I will untap everything. Take a quick moment to organize my lands. I'm going to play the Temple of Enlightenment.
Your favorite
which
card.
is the final of this playset. Also, I'm going to scry. That is a tempting card.
You got the mana.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to put that on the bottom. Because I don't think that's going to be overly useful for me. It seems weird to do this now on my main phase, but I want to do this because I want to see what I might possibly have. So I'm going to pay 3, and I'm going to cast another Thirst for Meaning. So I'm going to draw 3 cards and discard 2 unless I discard an enchantment card. So draw 3.
Must be nice to draw 3 cards and then pitch the ones you don't necessarily need.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to discard an enchantment. Elspeth Conquers Death.
Rare enchantment at that.
Then what I'm going to do, none of your guys have reach, correct?
Ain't nobody got reach.
Okay, so I'm actually going to swing in with my 5/5 shark.
Of which I have no chance to block.
Okay.
Any other combat shenanigans from you?
Nothing from me, no.
Bam, bam, down to 15.
Okay. I'm going to tap for 4, my last 4 mana, and including 2 white. And I'm going to cast Shatter the Sky. It's a sorcery. Each player who controls a creature with power 4 or greater draws a card. That would be me alone, I believe, right?
I'll tap 1 to choose one that has been chosen. Target gets +1 till end of turn, so it becomes a 4 power.
Okay. Very good. So in response to that...
Card!
So now we're going to draw cards, and then we're going to destroy... And then I'm going to destroy all creatures.
Fair enough.
So, you and I both draw a card.
Woohoo! Super excited about that card.
And all our creatures are going to go away.
What did I draw?
Now, I'm going to... I'm all tapped out, so at least you don't have to worry about any sort of shenanigans in that sense. I'm going to pass the turn to you.
I untap. Filtered through one mediocre card, which means this is going to be a bomb, right? Well, it's a card. Okay, so I'm going to waste this dude. Yeah. Tap 2 to play the Rimrock Knight, just as a knight, because I obviously want a creature.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then I'll pass to you.
Pass to me. Okay.
Really wanted that one card to be like a bomb that just like, here's a mythic or something, and Now I feel bad. But at least Kerrigan replaced himself. Kerrigan?
Okay. All right. I'm going to play a Plains. I'm going to tap for 3.
So tense now.
It is, actually. It's weirdly tense in this game now. You know what? I'm going to tap for these. No, because those are multis. So let's do it this way.
Save your multis, brah.
I'm going to tap for 3,
Who goes
including one
multis?
white. Apparently I do. I'm going to cast Banishing Light
come
on your creature. So I'm going to tuck that in with this wall of enchantments. Just prison.
Just need a creature stick
Prison
around.
life. Hashtag prison life. And I'm going to tap for 2 blue, 2 white, and 2 of whatever. And I'm going to cast Dream Trawler. It's a 5/3 Sphinx. It's got flying, it's got lifelink. Whenever I draw a card, Dream Trawler gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. Whenever it attacks, I draw a card, and I can discard a card, and it gains hexproof until the end of turn, but I have to tap it. I'm going to pass the turn now to you.
You have apparently good cards in there. I had 1s and 2s. Oh, come on. I knew that would happen sooner or later. Sooner or later, I'd get another land. Okay.
For all I know, that's what's been holding you back.
I'll play that land. Castle Embereth enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain.
Tough for your deck to,
Yeah. I can just do this. So I'm going to just do this. Tap 2 and then tap 3 to cast Shatter Skull Smashing. Deals X damage divided as I choose among up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers, not players. So I'm going to deal 3 damage to your flying dude.
I'm going to discard this card to give it hexproof. But then I got to tap it.
Well, I had to burn through a card anyway. You're out of cards too?
I'm hellbent now. I'm
okay.
hellbent. So I can't give it hexproof again.
All right.
Until I get another card name.
Then I pass to you.
Pass to me. Okay.
But at least you have ways of drawing additional cool cards.
I'm going to move to combat. I'm going to attack with the Dream Trawler. Now, when it does attack, I draw a card. So I'm going to draw a card, and that's going to give it +1/+0, so it's going to be a 4/5.
Okay. I got nothing to block or interact with.
Okay, so I'm going to go up to 14.
So I take 4 and drop down to 11.
I am going to pass the turn out to you.
Hexproof. Tells you. Dookie. So I'll tap 1 for the Fervent Champ.
Okay.
Okay. I will go to combat.
Okay.
Do I really want to do that? Yeah. Sure. Tap 3 and tap that to give him +1.
How?
I tap creatures.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he gets +1/+0. So he's now a 2/1.
While that's on the stack, I'm going to tap for a blue and one of whatever, and I'm going to flash out Omen of the Sea. So I have a second Omen of the Sea, and when it enters the battlefield, I scry 2 and then draw a card. So I'm going to scry 2. I think I'll put that on. Both of them are going to go there, and I'm going to draw a card. So there we go. So that's done.
Cool. So he's a 2/1.
2-1, okay. So he swings in for 2?
Yeah. With
Okay.
your flying life.
So I'm down to 12.
Flying. Had to be flying too. Okay. I'm going to pass.
Pass to me.
Pass to you, sir.
On your end step, I'm going to tap for 3.
Start burning through your Omens of the Sea.
Yeah, so then I'm going to sacrifice Omen of the Sea and scry 2, so I already know what one of them is. And I'm keeping both of those on top, so I'm not going to bother burning through this one. Okay, so then my turn, so untap everything. Draw. How much land do I have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So, start things off, I'm going to just move to combat.
Okay.
So I'm going to swing in with the Dream Trawler. I'm going to trigger that drawing a card, and then I'm going to do 4 to you.
Yep, I drop to 7.
I go up to 16.
Lifelink.
I'm going to tap for 2 white, and then 3 of whatever, to bring out another saga. This time it's Elpeth Conquers Death. The first one is exile target permanent and opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or greater. So that is not going to happen. But the second one is non-creature spells your opponent casts cost 2 more to cast until your next turn. And 3 is return a creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it or a loyalty counter on it. So that's at 1. And now I really, really hope, Travis, that you do not end up casting a creature that has a converted mana cost of 3 or greater, because I'll feel foolish for
I'm wondering if I
wasting
have
it.
one of those in this deck. Like, I know it's that Bone Crusher giant, but...
Pass the turn now to you.
All right. I guess you have so many cards in hand that there's no way I'm going to actually be able to take that thing down. So I have like one win I was hoping for. I'm going to cast 1 to hit you for a shock, because I'm not going to take that
for
thing
2?
down.
Okay, I got you. 2.
I'm also not going to take you down
Down to
with
4.
a life linker.
Down to 14.
But I'll untap and see what else I draw. Could be something really cool. Nope. Go to combat.
Yes, okay. So taking 1.
Aha, wait a minute.
Oh.
Ooh. So, not to tip my hand, knowing I have better cards, I'm going to tap that and then tap 3. Additional. 4 in total. Or additional 1.
Oh, okay. So now I'm taking
Yeah.
2. So I'm down to 12.
And then, because I know there's no way I'm going to do anything, I'll hit you for 1 more. With Spikefield Hazard. Spikefield Hazard deals 1 damage to any target. If a permanent would be dealt this way, would die, exile it instead.
Okay.
And it's a flip, so I could have as a land, but I had enough land.
Yeah. So that puts me down to 11 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, accept lifelink. Pass back to you.
Okay, so on your end step, I'm going to tap 2, and I'm going to flash out Omen of the Sky, so I'll get to scry 2 and then draw a card. So that will go on the bottom, and that can stay on top.
Your deck's looking a lot thinner than my deck.
And then I will draw that card. And then I'm going to untap everything. You're at 7 right now?
I'm at 7.
Okay. So... Oh, you know what? I have not been doing this. Whenever I draw a card, like at the beginning. So it gets +1/+0. So for those of you in the comment section, there would have been a graphic when I first made that mistake explaining that we will eventually catch it. At this point, we've caught it now. So it is now currently a 4/5 without it having drawn another card. I'm going to play a Tranquil Cove so that I can gain an additional life. So that puts me to 12. Tranquil Cove, because we haven't seen one yet. Tranquil Cove enters the battlefield tapped, and when it enters the battlefield, I gain 1 life. I can tap it for white or blue. I don't know why I had to check that.
Your deck's supposed to be control, not life gain.
So right now this is a 4/4/5, right?
4/5, yeah.
Oh, and this goes, non-creature spells your opponent cast cost 2 more to cast until your next turn. But you got so much mana.
I got rid of mine anyway.
There we go.
Just in case.
Alrighty, I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
So that is going to draw me a card from the trigger. It's now going to be a 5/5.
Still nothing to interact with that. Drop down to 2.
Okay. And then I'm going to pay 2.
Do you have a shock?
Which, to bring out Skyclave Cleric, so I'm going to gain 2 life off of that. Puts me back to 14. Oh no, 5. So I was at 12, so that put me to 17. And then 2 more, that puts me to 19.
Oh my bird. Pointless.
I do not, so I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Again, I peeked at this deck. I don't see anything that could...
You might have just been getting bad draws. I mean, it's not over yet. Okay, now it's over. But you might have just been getting bad draws. Are you going to do the
You're darn right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to block.
There we go.
You're not even going to block.
I'm going down to 17.
You didn't want to.
So, then my turn.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so untap, draw, and then attack.
Right.
Okay. I mean, it might have just been bad luck of the draw type of thing, but based on this so far, it doesn't seem as strong as... I remember the 2019... I can't remember which one won when we had the Battle of Champions between the two, but the 2019
Hazard
was crazy from what I remember.
Hazard Aggro for 3 had that God 5/4 for 3 mana, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think the last one had Goblin Chain Whirler.
Yeah.
Like,
so I mean, they were both fantastic. And again, this might not be a good view of what the deck is like because things have... I mean... In the previous, this is a spoiler, just if you haven't seen the previous video. In the previous video, I got off to a great start, and then you proceeded to shellac me 2 games in a row. So that's entirely possible this is going to happen here, especially when sideboards come into play, and there's most likely enchantment hate, artifact hate. So we'll see.
There will be artifact hate, I hope, but I don't think there'll be enchantment hate in mono red.
Well, you never know. You never know. We are going to find out how things are going to go in the second game right now. And we're back in the second game of the second round of the 2021 Challenger Decks Showdown. Travis.
Yo. No mulligan.
No mulligan.
No mulligan.
No mulligan. And no mulligan for me as well, too. As well, we both sideboarded.
Yes.
So those cards are being shown right now as to what was going in and what was going out from yours. And then after that, it's going to be what's going in and out for mine as well, too. So this is me talking in order to give those graphics time enough so that you guys can actually catch what's going in and out. And now, at this point, I think things would have changed so that you'll see what the actual opening hands are. Adding more graphics, there's a lot more you got to keep in mind, sort of thing. Like it's crazy.
You got to be your own producer, director, and
yeah. And then you have someone who makes stuff up that should be on screen at certain times, and then you have to cater to his whims.
It was an
like
interesting
in the last video
about a format that's not played on.
Yeah.
Interesting financial comparison, though.
Yes, indeed. Oh, I should change my life total to
back. Is it going back down to 20, or did you?
No.
But you didn't take your probably life link in the very last turn.
I did not. So that would have it would have been flashed on screen though as to what the actual final life total was because it just makes me look better. Travis, sorry, I'm going to allow
me
because it's up to me
the honor
to get you to go first.
All right, I have no fiery start this turn, so I'm just going to play a mountain. Pass.
Oh, okay.
So it's tough because after how the first round went, I'm like, I really got to hit the ground running even faster. But then I had a decent hand. Like, is it worth throwing that away for possibly something better?
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not. I'm going to play Tranquil Cove, so it's going to enter tap, so it's going to be a slower start. We saw it before. I go up to 21, though, which is great, especially against your deck, and I will pass the turn to you, sir.
Okay, draw for turn. I'll play another mountain. Tap both them mountains for, we saw him last time, the Kerrigan Intimidator. He's a 3/1. I was able to make him a 4/1 to draw a card. No haste, though. I'll pass to you.
Pass to me. Okay, untap. Draw. Forgot about that part of it. As I read this card, then I had no idea what's in the deck.
There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah. I'm going to play a Plains. I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Sneaky. I'm going to go to combat.
Okay.
Swing of my...
Any shenanigans you'd like to do before
no
damage?
shenanigans.
Okay, so I'm going to go down to 18.
Okay. I'm going to tap 2 for another Kerrigan Intimidator.
I'm going to tap 2 for Essence Scatter. Instant counter target creature spell.
Hits the bin. Part of my second main phase, I'm actually going to flip one of these cards over and play a land that will enter tapped.
Oh, okay.
Called Spikefield Cave. The other side of it was that basically that spell that did 1 damage, and if it dealt, it exiled.
We touched upon this in the previous match, but I've woefully underestimated how useful those cards are. Because the little bit that I've gotten actually a chance to play with them now, there's been a couple times where it's been an absolute lifesaver. And sometimes I have to train myself now to look for them because I missed it in one previous game. And I remember thinking, boy, I really wish I had a land. And meanwhile...
Yeah, like, I almost did that too until I saw that. I'm like, oh, wait, because I was like, oh crap, I didn't get a third land. Oh crap. A lot of my stuff hopefully is going to do a lot better with 3 mana. So if I didn't get that, this could have been a whole different game, especially with you countering my turn too.
Yeah,
so.
That's what I kind of like about this. I missed playing counter spells because the Planeswalker decks don't have any. So, my turn?
Your turn, sir.
Tap. Draw. I will play an island. You know what? I'm going to do this. Probably not the greatest idea, but Birth of Meletis. We saw it before, so I'm going to search my library for a Plains card. Not any land card. It's got to be a Plains card. And then I will shuffle it up.
That 0/4 wall does work, so I don't know. Don't know about that.
Okay, but that's the thing though. It takes a turn, right? So it's sort of like you got to wait for it and see if it's gonna happen. Shuffle her up. Alright, so those are going there. And Plains is in my hand. It's not on the battlefield. So I've got 1 white left up, and I'm just going to pass the turn to you.
Seem rather specific about that white. Curious now. Untap. Draw. 4th land, yeah. We're magical now. I'm going to tap all 4. For Torbrand. Thane of the Redfell.
Ooh!
3 red, 1 of anything. If a red source I control will deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much +2 instead. Looking for that guy all last game.
Yeah.
Something
he is
impressive.
Nasty. He's nasty. Like, he himself is not that... I mean, though he hits like a 4/4, basically, as well, too, right? Because it counts himself as the red source, so...
Yeah.
But you do already have a red source.
Speaking of red sources, going to combat.
Yepers. I'm taking 5.
Taking 5.
I'm down to 13. Now, this is what I have expected all along.
For. Pass to you.
Pass to me. Tap. Draw. This is going to go up to 2. And I suddenly have a blocker, which is nice.
Yeah, that's a blocker.
I'm going to do the same thing you did. I'm going to flip a card to make it a land. But this is one of the mythic ones. So it's Emiria Shattered Skyclave. And as it enters the battlefield, I may pay 3 life. If I don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. I am not going to pay 3 life while I'm playing a red aggro game. So, but I do have that as a land. So I can tap it for 1 white.
Because that would need to be one heck of a turn 4 play.
I'm going to tap for 3, and I'm going to cast Banishing Light.
No!
I know, man. I know. I'm going to pass... Yeah,
how is it the blue-white is worse than, like, I don't know, even a mono-black for removal? Like, doesn't even make sense.
I don't know. And it's taunting removal, because like at least with black removal, it's like, it's in the graveyard, it's gone. Whereas with white, it's like, I've got it right here for you. I got it right here for you.
I did not see any artifact removal in that. I mean, I did a quick pass. Most of it just seemed to be like less efficient burn spells that were in your opening kind of deck. So I was like, okay.
I'm going to pass the turn now to you.
At the very least, I can make that thing a coward.
Yes, yeah. Or you can make that a 4/1.
I can do both.
Yeah, you can do both.
Because I can, it's, when you have
now,
it.
cowards can't block warriors, right?
That's what I heard.
That's a cowardly wall.
So that's, I think, what I'm going to do. I'm going to tap one to make that a cowardly wall.
Okay.
Speak to the cowardly lion. He is still, at this point, a 3/1. So I'm not going to choose to pump him up. So I'm just going to attack him as a 3/1.
Okay. Righty. So I'm going to take 3 damage, and I'm going to go down to 10.
And then I'm going to tap 3 for, we saw him again last time, Annex, Hardbred in the Forge. Power and toughness are equal to the devotion red, so he's currently a 3/3. And whenever another creature token dies, I get the Stator.
Now, when something's made a coward, I think I asked this before, just to clarify, it can't block warriors, but it can block other creature types.
Yeah.
Non-warrior creature types. Okay.
Because I can't make another creature a warrior.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm also, once again, going to flip a land. And...
Oh, you must have something saucy in your hand right now.
Well, to get this thing up enough to kill that wall, I need 6 mana. So, I mean, you can play something else, obviously. As Shadow Skull, the hammer enters the battlefield. I may pay 3 life. If I don't, it enters tapped. I don't think I'm going to pay that 3 life. I'm not.
Yeah, at this point, it doesn't seem like a wise decision, so...
I pass to you.
Not that you don't have the life to spend, it's just, Okay. Draw. I'm going to play a Plains. This is going to go up to 3, which I forgot about.
Life gain.
I'm going to gain 2, so I'm up to 12, which is wonderful. And it's going to go to the bin, which is less wonderful. I'm going to simply pass the turn to you.
Monster. Monster. At least Banishing Light doesn't have flash. Okay.
Banishing Light had flash. It would be my favorite card ever. So.
I'm going to go to combat.
Okay.
Attack with both. At this point, I believe I pass priority to you for blocks.
Yepers. So this currently is a 3/3, right? Currently a 3/3 because of the devotion to red. I will put that in front of the current 3/3.
Okay.
Does damage go through?
No. So we're at blocks.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to attempt. I'll just run this into something, aren't I? Yeah. We are going to run this right in. Run it right into that counterspell. I'm going to throw down Embercleave. It is a legendary enchantment equipment. Why should I even explain this card? I'm sorry everybody knows what the card is. 6 mana, however, it costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature, which is 2, which makes it down to 4.
Yeah.
When Embercleave enters the battlefield, attached to target creature I control.
Now, while that's on the stack, I'm going to
So I haven't chosen a target creature then.
Yes, I'm going to tap 1 in a blue to flash out Omen of the Sea. So I'm going to scry 2 and then draw 1. So scry 2.
I'm holding it up here to remind everybody.
I'm going to put this one on the bottom.
It's on the stack.
And this one on top. And then I'm going to draw a card. And then I'm going to tap for 3, include 1 blue, and cast Thirst for Meaning. Draw 3 cards, discard 2 cards unless I discard an enchantment. So I'm going to draw 3. 1, 2, 3. And I am going to discard an enchantment. Another Omen of the Sea, so I got to keep those other cards. So, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Hope this goes to the grave.
So when it enters the battlefield, attached to target creature I control, equipped creature gets +1/+1, has double strike and trample.
Rolled over your...
But wait. There's more.
There's more?
Tapping on my last red source. put Rimrock Knight on an adventure, giving him +2/+0. So he was a 3/1, became a 4/2, and he's becoming a 6.
There we go. With double strike. Now,
I could pick up a whole hand. Like
this is what I was able to put into my hand. Neutralize. This is what I had untapped. 2 white and a blue. And then to taunt me further, it gave me another neutralize, and it gave me another counterspell. Saw it coming. So I had all these counterspells a little too late. So
a lot of counterspells in that.
Yeah. That is what I was expecting. So at the very least, we got 3 games out of this, which is great. That's some serious like Voltron action there, where it's just like loading stuff up onto the single creature. So yeah, that was really good. I mean, not great because I lost, but still, it was a really good game for.
And I was on the fence about basically throwing away these burn cards, but I needed exactly that mana on that turn to pull that off before you started.
That was great. So you had the pieces in your hand, so you were building towards it, sort of thing. So I
drew that. I was building towards that. But again, once you took my second, so in order to get some value off Embercleave, I want lots of attacking creatures to drop that mana value, so I can then do other shenanigans. But you keep taking my attacking creatures away, and it gets a lot harder to have more than one. Which that's still brings him to 5 with Flash, which is still decent. It would have, depending on how things worked out, it might have been able to take out a bigger blocker with the double strike.
Yeah,
but I'm happy how that worked out too.
That was a great win. I know a lot of people aren't crazy about mono red aggro, and other people love it, right? Yeah. And this is why, because these swings are so ridiculous. Like this was turn 5. I mean, we do the turn order. I do it in editing, but I think this is only turn 5.
Turn 6 because I played 5th land the previous turn.
Oh, okay.
Because it entered tapped.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, much quicker game than the last game for sure. So, and we are going to determine who is actually going to win this thing. It's going to 3, and we're going to get a third game right now. And we are back in the third and final of this. I almost said Planeswalker out of habit, but 2021 Challenger Deck Showdown. Travis, we are tied up 1-1. My life total is currently at 12.
I'd like to keep it there.
Will change. But, did you? Neither of us sideboarded.
Neither of us sideboarded the second one.
Did you mulligan?
I had the mulligan. I got a 1-lander with like 4 1 mana costed things, and
tempting,
I'm like,
right?
But no. I would rather lose a card than me made a complete fool of with only 1, 2 land. That people are like, in a red aggro deck. I get it. 1 land, like, you had to, didn't you? Huh? Big man?
We talked about this in some of the previous mono-red Challenger decks. 1 land sometimes was enough to carry the game and win. So, yeah, but this one does seem to require
I think
more lands.
At 3, you definitely start cooking, but then you do seem to be able to take advantage of higher mana later on too, which is something that some of the other decks I think weren't very good at, because at a certain point 4 mana at 14 mana, you weren't doing anything more with a certain point of mana. But this one seems to have some options.
Well, I mean, that out of nowhere 12 damage in the previous game was crazy. So now I get to have the advantage of both having 7 cards in hand, and I get to go first, which is great because I'm starting off every game with a tap land. Temple of Enlightenment, I get to scry 1. We'll put that on top.
Must be good.
And I'll pass the turn to you, sir.
Okay, draw for the turn. Play the card I just drew. Always sell it as it was a big thing. Like, I got 1 land. Woohoo! It's all I need for my fervent champ, and I'm off to the races.
You are off to those races, sir.
Giddy up, he says to his horsey as he swings in. He's even doing nerd.
For 1?
For 1.
Okay, that was a lot of bits up.
Yeah. I find this deck just kind of does that. It's also not fair to say, because it's going against a deck that has a lot of, seems to be answers for small creatures.
Because he's on the back of like a crazy warhorse. He's got a flaming sword, and he does 1 damage to start off with. So what they don't show you in the card art is he's actually only 2 inches tall.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why. So
no Embercleave there. I'll pass you.
My turn. Okay, so draw, and just a incredible start. Another Temple of Enlightenment. So scry again. Keep that on top.
Again, he does that.
Keep it on top. I will then pass the turn to you, because that's my life right now.
Untap. Draw. Found that dude. I'm going to play the already flipped Shadow Skull Hammer Pass.
Okay.
I'm, this turn I'm not going to spend the 3 life, so it's entering tapped.
Okay.
I'm going to go to combat.
Sounds good.
Swing with my fervent champion. But
And
before we get too far,
dun, 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 dun.
here comes the old Rimrock Knight saying, you know what, buddy? Why don't you go on, have +2, I'm going on a little venture.
That Rimrock Knight, I tell you.
And there is a playset, and he's a common. I always like when a common works out.
Nothing but trouble, that guy. So I'm down to 18. Oh, no, I'm down to, because I took 2 additional, right? So I'm down to 16. Little sneaky cheat there.
Past you.
Pass to me.
Yep.
Draw. Okay. Well, I'm going to... I'm going to play a Tranquil Cove, which is going to enter tapped.
Ouch.
But I am going to gain 1 life, so I'm going to go up to 17.
Double ouch.
And I'm going to pass the turn to you, sir.
All right. Untap. Draw. Playing a regular mountain. While I do some quick options here. I may be walking into a counterspell, but I'm going to tap 3 for the Relic Robber. He's a 2/2 with haste. When Relic Robber deals damage to a player, that player creates a 0/1 colorless goblin construct artifact creature token with. This creature can't block, and at the beginning of your upkeep, this creature deals 1 damage to you.
That sounds awful.
Do you want to scatter that essence?
I do not want to scatter that essence. So that is going to actually hit.
That's going to hit. So
Now, I'm assuming they gave you a token for that.
they did, actually.
Okay.
A bunch. I think they assume it's going to hit fairly often, so we'll swing in. He is not a knight. He cannot take advantage of that trigger of his. So it's just 3 damage.
3 damage. So I'm down to 14.
And
Now, this is at the beginning of my upkeep. This one does 1 damage to me. And this thing can't block as well, too. So
nope. But it can attack.
Alrighty. Already can attack. Okay, great. Well, there we go.
Over to you, sir.
I'm saved. I'm going to untap. And I'm going to take 1 damage.
Go, Goblin Skull,
down
go.
to 13. I'm going to play a Tranquil Cove.
Sacrifice an artifact you control. Deal 3 damage.
I'm going to go up to 14 with my Tranquil Cove.
Because that's become my new plan, I think, is just bury him in skulls. Or
I'm going
constructs.
to tap for 3 and banish your Relic Robber. That's what he is, right? Robber?
Yeah.
He's a robber. A thief. That's what happens. They go to prison. There we go.
So big plans for that.
Prison of
dude.
Light. And I will pass the turn to you. Still, you're doing like an additional tick to me every turn. So.
I wanted to do more than 1 tick. I wanted to do several ticks. All right. Hang on a tick. Let's tap 2 and get our little guy off of his adventure there. He had fun. Many interesting stories. We'll listen to him later. I will cast another Fervent Champion. So now
Ooh, that's nasty.
they are other knights.
Yeah.
So they're not. Nothing's going to stop them from helping each other out here. And I'm going to win combat. There's no haste there, but these 2 are now 2/1s.
So I'm taking 4.
4 damage, sir.
I'm down to 10.
That's my turn.
And then it's my turn. Untap. Take a damage. Down to 9.
Wanted so many of those skulls.
Draw a card. Gonna play an island.
I think I do have 1 more in the deck, but there's only, I think, 2 in the sideboard.
I'm going to tap for 4, and I'm just going to shatter those skies. So all creatures, and this is an artifact creature token, so that is going to go to your bin as well. And that's going to go to the graveyard. And I have 1 dual land left untapped. Pass the turn to you, sir.
Really wanted that skull to stick around.
I did not.
All right, so I'm not saying we're stuck here, but I'm going to tap 3 for Annex.
Ooh.
Harden in the Forge. We saw him before. Right now it's only 2/3. No haste and no 4th land.
My turn?
Your turn.
Untap. I'm going to play an island.
See, if he was out, I would have got some satyrs in return. But he wasn't out.
He was not out.
One turn off.
I'm going to tap for 3, including 1 white. I'm going to banish him to the light.
And I have no skulls. See how much damage my skulls could have been doing right now? Just doing work.
I'm going to pass the turn out to you, sir.
Alright. I will tap a mountain, and I have no choice. No choice but to run into that essence scatter.
No essence scatter, though. Sadly.
So another Annex hits the battlefield.
I'm going to tap for 3, though, including 1 blue, and I'm going to thirst for some meaning behind all this. So I'm going to draw 3.
Now that one is exiled, which means the legendary rule is not going to come into play. So I believe, because he's not on the board to,
I am going to... This is a tough call, actually. This is kind of a tough call. I will... Yeah, I'm gonna pitch 2 lands. I'm gonna pitch a Tranquil Cove and I'm gonna pitch a Plains. So I did have to pitch 2. I couldn't just discard an enchantment. Is it my turn?
I have no idea.
Yes. Tap. Draw. Alrighty. I'm going to tap for 3 and 2 white to bring out Elspeth Conquers Death. So, number 1, exile target permanent and opponent controls for mana cost 3 or greater. So that is 1. That is happening. The next one, non-creature spells your opponent's cast are going to cost 2 more. Pass the turn out to you, sir.
I have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 creatures. And guess what?
Well, it's all about control, right?
I'm all out of creatures. Well, I was anyway.
Oh, why do you have to have creatures, Travis?
I think I gotta just tap 3 for the Bone Crusher Giant. I'm not doing a stomp because I just want a creature. When Bone Crusher Giant becomes target of a spell, Bone Crusher Giant deals 2 damage to that spell's controller.
Okay.
There's that. That was 3 mana though. No haste.
It's a 4/3.
It is a 4/3.
Okay.
Just stick around, buddy. All I want.
So this goes up to 2. And I'm going to draw. I am going to pass the turn to you.
Crikey.
Untap.
Draw. Good Gumbat.
Okay. For 4?
For 4.
Anything?
What does that thing say? Non-creature spells cost? Or is it...
2 more to cast until my next turn.
Okay. At this point, no. So 4 damage goes through.
4 damage goes through. So I'm down to 5.
Then, just to be funny, I'm going to tap 4 for Royal Eruption, because it's going to cost twice as much, essentially. 2 more.
Yes.
It deals 3 damage to any target. It's not being kicked, so I deal 3 damage to.
I will tap for 2, including a blue, and cast Negate. Counter target non-creature spell.
4 mana cost.
Right. I'm then going to tap for... Oh, sorry. Is it end step?
Yeah,
end step? Okay. So tap for 3, and I'm going to Thirst for Meaning again. So I'm going to draw 3 cards, and then discard 2. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pitch this Plane and this Dream Trawler into the graveyard. And then it's my turn.
Your turn.
Untap. And then 3, return target creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter on it, or a loyalty counter on it. So, I think I have a Dream Trawler. There we go. Gets a +1/+1 counter.
And that's the one's going to kill me.
This is now going to go there. I'm going to draw a card still. So it's now, not that it matters right now, it is a 5/6, right? No, it's a 5/5 right now, because it does not get +2. It's toughness. However, I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Bloop, 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 bloop. play another land. Go to combat.
Well, Travis, I'm going to tap for 2. And I'm going to flash out the Omen of the Sea prior to blocks.
Okay.
And scry 2. Put those both in the bottom. That's going to allow me to draw a card. So that is now going to be a 5/5. And I'm going to have to block it.
Okay. Tapping 5 with the 1 reduction for Embercleave.
I hate you so much right now.
Doesn't matter if he still dies, I think. Because he becomes a 5 with first strike, or double strike, and trample. So, I think actually that might actually have worked out better than I thought it was going to. I thought I'd just trade, but... So he does get +1/+1. It has double strike and trample. So he's now a 5/4. So first strike damage will happen.
First strike damage will happen. So he's a 5.
Yeah.
5/4. Yeah. So that'll kill the creature.
No, because he has a +1 counter on him. I'm right.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
trouble
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
So it means you can get lifelink out of this in the long run.
Oh, I am going to get lifelink out of this. Okay.
He'll still die, but so will he. But you might still take some.
The first strike happens. So yeah, thank you, because I completely forgot I had the counter there.
You'll still take, I think, 4 damage in the end, but you also will gain life.
Yes.
Okay.
So I will gain 5, lose 4. So net gain of 1 for me.
Yeah, and I lose.
But you have Embercleave on the battlefield now, so
I do.
So I'm up to 6. Whew, Travis.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that could have gone a lot better for me if you didn't have a counter on that blooming thing. Like. That's my turn.
Okay, on your end step, I'm going to pay 3, sacrifice the Omen in order to scry for 2.
I think it's now 7 creatures I've had come and go in this game. I mean, that was obviously my fault because I attacked, but still.
I'm going to put both of these on the bottom, and then I'm going to untap. And I'm going to draw. I'm going to play a Temple of Enlightenment. Comes into play tapped. I get to scry 1. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to put that on top. I am then going to pass the turn to you.
I'm going to guess you have at least 1 counterspell in that mitt of cards of yours. I guess we'll find out. Tap 1, the Coom Hellhound.
I'm going to tap for 2 to Essence Scatter.
Boy. Alright, I have nothing to attach my thing to. So I'm going to use... Well, I'm either going to have you burn through it or not. I got 2 for Royal Eruption. I'll target you for 3 damage.
I'm going to tap for 2 blue and 1 of whatever, and cast Saw It Coming, counter target spell.
See, and now I can guarantee you have at least 1 more in your hand because you wouldn't have wasted anything on that didn't cost you the game.
My turn?
Yeah.
Untap. Draw.
I was 1+1 counter away from winning this game.
I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Untap. Draw.
This is going to be so ridiculous for the next few turns. My turn?
Your turn.
Okay, draw.
Unless I got something that can like put 3 goblin tokens on the battlefield or something.
I'm going to play an island. I'm going to pay 2 white. And then...
Oh god, not that thing again.
2 whatever. For Archon of Sun's Grace.
Oh, it's even worse.
It's a 3/4 flying with lifelink. Pegasus creatures you control have lifelink. It's got Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under my control, I create a 2/2 white Pegasus creature token with flying. Pass the turn now to you.
Alright, well, we'll tap 2 for the Rimrock Knight.
I will tap 2 to scatter its essence.
Past you.
Pass to me.
This is embarrassing is what this is. I have to sit here and just go through this.
Move to combat.
You're up.
Swinging for 3.
No blocks down to 17.
Go up to 9. Pass the turn to you.
Attempt to tap 3 to cast Soul Snare. Deals 5 damage to our creature or planeswalker. That permanent loses instruction within a turn.
Tap 3. I'm going to neutralize that counter target spell.
Just embarrassing. Pass to you.
Pass to me. Okay. Untap.
Oh, that was like a positive okay. Like, I got this okay.
I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
I'm going to swing in with the Sun's Grace.
Drop down to 14.
I'm going to go up to 12. I'm going to tap for 1, 2, because I don't have any choice to do this. 6 in total. Bring out Dream Trawler.
You don't have any choice. You have plenty of choices.
Pass the turn to you.
Alright, untap. Tap 2 for the Kerrigan Intimidator.
That is going to happen.
Tap 3 to put the Embercleave on the Kerrigan Intimidator.
That is going to happen as well, too. Now, does it have haste?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Alright, pass to you.
Pass to me. Okay.
You have so much lifelink. There's literally no way I can start hitting big damage because I can make...
So, draw a card that triggered, making it a 4 or 5. I'm going to move to combat.
Yep.
I'm going to swing with them both. So, 7 in total?
7 in total. Yep. That's nothing more than that, isn't it? Oh, you haven't drawn additional cards yet.
Yeah.
Drop down to 14.
Puts me to 19.
There's a hope, right?
That's the turn to you.
All right. Untap. No, that's not very helpful. All right. So we'll just tap 1 to give him +1/+1.
Okay.
And then I don't need to do anything else at this point, so I'll only tap 1. I'll be frugal about it. So he's now a 4/5 power guy.
Isn't he? Because it gives it +1/+1, right?
This, yeah. So,
doesn't this give him +1/+1?
Yeah. So +1/+1,
5?
4, and then 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 5 power. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you said a 4 or 5 power.
Oh no.
So it's a 5 power. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm taking 10 still.
Yeah.
Out of that, that puts me down to 9.
Yeah.
And then my turn.
Yeah.
Untap.
So, could you just not draw a card?
Draw. And swing in for 7.
It's exactly 7. Oh.
And then in the end, I just had land. I was like sweating that there was going to be something else coming down. So, wow.
Wow. 1 +1/+1 counter away from that going the other way.
And the thing is as well, too, if you weren't paying attention, I would have basically thought the game was over previously because you were the one that was pointing out that he's not, that the one creature, the ogre, was not big enough to kill him with just the first strike alone, so that it did go down to the double strike part of it. So I appreciate your honesty on that, because that would have been something which people would have gone crazy if it hadn't got unnoticed. So thank you. You basically saved this video. So, I mean, that's a consolation prize, right?
Right. Oh, I feel consolation.
There are a whole bunch of people, if you listen very carefully, a whole bunch of people who are
cheering,
screaming in anger, and a whole bunch of group of other people who are screaming in joy that Mono Red is not going to make it to the finals. So there we go.
It put up a fight. You know,
it was
close.
It was so close to winning. Like, it was incredibly close to winning. And if I had been doing the math, you would have won.
It was a +1/+1 counter away from stealing an early victory and getting close at the end. If I had one more life, then lifelink would just lifelink kills. And then again, so does Embercleave.
But at that point as well too, like surviving that combat, I knew after that with the land that I had, and I had a stacked hand of counter spells. I had an Essence Scatter. I had 2 counter anything.
Yeah.
So it was, I felt pretty secure, but then all of a sudden ran out of them because you kept casting something every turn and nothing but land. So I was just terrified because that card, the Embercleave
too,
is so infuriating when that hits the battlefield. It's great. It's absolutely great, but it's infuriating when that thing hits the battlefield.
So I know the other ones didn't have a ton of card draw, but especially Bomat Courier, a playset in that very first aggro one, and the light up the stage kind of combo, it gave you card draw, card advantage. And that is exactly the one thing this deck is missing. It seems to have that lower, not quite hitting lower fast enough, but then there's no way to even impulsively draw cards. No way, like I can pitch lands, but I can draw something better. Like
I wish I could remember them better, because you know what? I think that might be the one factor that's different. I think both of them even despite they were red, had ways of getting more resources, like refilling the hand, like the reload.
And that's what
this one doesn't.
Needs. Aggro needs a way to, even if 2 or 3 cards late in the game, impulsively even, is usually all you really need to close it out.
So maybe that's the difference between this one. As well, too, it's like these are pre-con decks that are based on decks that were doing really well in Standard at the time. But they're never the pinnacle of that particular type of deck. So if any of you know like the mono red deck, like what the actual sort of like top tier iteration of it is, let us know what the differences are.
I believe
obviously there's going to be more Embercleaves because that would be crazy. And I still don't understand why with these Challenger decks. I mean, it's a money card, but stop thinking about that when you come. I mean, I understand it's to try to like lower the price of the decks because people, stores will increase the price, but at the same time, most of the time, you can get these decks in sets of 4. That's how I typically do it for the channel. But just include, it's like, as far as Wizards concerned, it's pieces of paper.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost them any more to print Embercleave than it does to print a common or a basic land. So I would have rather that had like the full power behind it. But again, it's great to buy it, and then if you want to invest and tweak it, these decks are great for that sort of like ability to tweak and have a good Standard deck.
I gotta say, man, I might go on the Relic Robber. That, like, if you hadn't wiped when you did, and that was turn 4. I think you played it on turn 4. You wiped.
Yeah. It was a balancing act because I had a lot of tap lands.
Yeah.
And I wanted on 4 to make sure I had 4 untapped lands. So, because I had that card and I had a Banishing Light right at the start, and I thought of like waiting, just like greeting it for one more turn, and if I had, that would have been the game.
Yeah.
Because that thing that Goblin Construct token is horrible. Not horrible in the sense that it's not effective, because it is. It's just, when that hit, I was like, if I didn't have that one card that I had in hand, the Shadow of the Sky, that thing alone would have ended the game for me.
And even if you had a blocker, I had ways of clearing a blocker to try to do more damage. In theory, you might have a counterspell, who knows? But I was at one point, I'm like, I'm going to go all in this Relic Robber strategy because I need something late game that's going to do something for me. Because if things start,
so you're guaranteed unless I have a blocker up to get through.
It's 3, not 2 for a 2/2.
But
there's enough going on that
there's enough upside to it that the cost is well worth it. So, well, that, my friends, is the end of the second round. The next round is going to be the finals of the 2021 Challenger Decks. It's going to be Azorius Control versus
Mono Green
Stompy.
Did they even give it a name?
Mono Green Stompy. Yes. Yeah.
They weren't overly clever with the names this round.
So that's gonna be a really interesting matchup, I think. Now, typically we record 2 games on a Tuesday. We record this on Tuesdays, but we record 2 matches on the Tuesday every second week. Now, this Friday, or actually the day this is being released, which would be today, the pre-release kits for Midnight Hunt are being released. So I'm going to be picking those up this weekend. And I'm not going to put Travis on the spot right now. He's on camera. But if Travis can come in next week to record that one match where we're going to go head-to-head with these pre-release kits, then that video may come out before the finals of the Challenger Decks Showdown. Otherwise, next week, it's going to be the finals of the Challenger Decks Showdown. And the following week, you're going to see the pre-release kit battle for Midnight Hunt. Travis, anything you'd like to say before we call it a day?
No.
Man, a few words, but they're impactful. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.